So welcome back to Outdoors with the Morgans. It's first thing in the morning. It's about 8 a.m. And we already got some wood brought in here to the log splitter. Last night I was out there on my little clearing project, which by the way is out that way about, I don't know, 1,000, 1,200 feet that direction. But anyway, I went out there last night, cut up a bunch of firewood, and they're calling for some rain here about 10 a.m. this morning. So I wanted to get out there before it got muddy and bring a little bit in. Maybe this afternoon, we'll have to see how it goes. Melissa and I will come down here and split all this up. But the wood bunker is slowly filling up. This will be a nice addition right here. But anyway, that is not what today's video is about. Today we're gonna hop in the truck and we're gonna run over and check on our fence contractor. I mentioned before, we're getting a new fence in front of the building, a privacy fence and a gate, and we're gonna go over and visit their facility and see how they make the fence, and we'll get a schedule on when they'll be over here to install it. All right, we are here at Penn Fencing with Chad and Matt. Now, Matt, you've watched our channel for a while, haven't you?
I have, since the beginning.
Since the beginning.
Yeah.
And you're about, what, 10 miles from where we live?
10 miles from your house, roughly.
Into the same kind of stuff we are.
Absolutely.
Well, and Chad, you want to tell us a little bit about you and about Penn Fencing?
Yeah, family business. My dad started 45 years ago. Second generation, so grew up in it. Started in our backyard, kind of just grew to the point where now we've got average about 50 employees throughout the summer, our peak season. Do just about any kind of fencing that's out there.
How big an area do you serve?
We serve the big, almost all of western Pennsylvania, from Erie all the way down to the southern border. We'll go out to about as far as Altoona for installations. Our online presence, though, website, we ship stuff around the world. We've shipped a bunch of stuff out of the country, so...
So you don't just install fence, you make the fence?
Correct.
Okay.
We buy the lineals from a couple of companies that manufacture or extrude the vinyl product in Pennsylvania, and then we'll bring them into our yard, cut them to size, and fabricate them as our customers, to fit our customers' needs.
Right, right. You want to go outside and check out the operation here?
Sure, sounds good.
I didn't even realize this was all back here from the road. You get a big yard back here.
Yeah, it's about 5 acres. We hear that from a lot of people that lived in this area. Yeah, almost everybody that comes in here is like, holy cow, this is big. You've got a lot of stuff here.
What are we looking at here on the left here?
The left would be a bunch of vinyl that we ordered in pre-cut. So just how we try and build up our inventory in the spring so that we have it and can react quickly and take care of customers throughout the season. If you don't have it when people need it, they move on. And
how many different colors of vinyl are there?
We stock pretty much four colors if you include black, but there's some manufacturers out there that there's a lot of possibilities. So,
and over here's all chain link stuff.
Yep.
And you got a lot of inventory here.
Pretty good inventory set up for the season.
Did you guys have troubles like in 2020 and all that, getting product like everybody else?
Yes. Yep. Very much so.
I don't know an industry that didn't. What goes on in this building here?
This is our fence fabrication building. So all the fence is going to be pushed through, all the vinyl fence will be pushed through this building.
Can we go inside and see how you make this?
Yep.
All right, so what do we have going on in here?
This is where we bring the raw material in for cutting to size, routing, notching. Those are notchers behind you. So this is where we basically assemble all the vinyl fence that flows through our operation.
So you make the panels and then take them to the site and install. Now, how do you deal? We're in Western Pennsylvania. There's a lot of unlevel ground here, rolling hills. What do you do that's different than, say, if you just went and bought panels?
So normal store is going to sell a panel that will not rack or follow the grade. We have the capability here of making almost anything that we do follow some pretty severe terrain.
Okay.
So we will custom cut the pickets or the panels so they can
just follow the contour
of the ground, follow the contour of the ground.
Yeah, because it's a lot different than just laying a fence across perfectly flat ground.
In our area, if you have stair step sections which are straight level, if you're trying to contain a pet, not the easiest thing to do when you've got a gap underneath the fence like that.
Right.
So we're able to mirror the ground and just keep it a couple inches off the ground and let it flow.
Is this the clay, Matt, the color we're getting?
It is. This is actually part of your fence that we have brought in here and kind of set up so we can see your actual material.
Now, what's this for here?
That's the aluminum stiffener. On an 8-foot section, we put that in the bottom rail for strength.
Okay.
Prevent belling.
Very nice. What's this machine over here do?
That's a CNC router.
This is here.
The blue machine there.
Yeah.
So that's a post that's in there now. Set the program, and depending on the fence style, it will route out the holes basically that the rails will be inserted into.
Very cool.
A lot of what we do, Mike, is called like good neighbor fence. There's not really an attachment or a good side and a bad side, so to speak.
Right.
So like if you think about traditional wood fence, there's a good side that has all the pickets on it and the bad side that has, like you see, the framing. Most of our product is all
good neighbor fence.
Good neighbor fence.
I like
it's routed with no attachment point really, so it looks the same from both sides.
Yeah. Did you ever have anyone say, "I don't like my neighbor and I want an ugly fence on one side and a nice one on the other"?
That's happening.
It's a part of what we do.
Whatever the customer wants, you know.
Yep.
No, I like that idea though. Yeah, because you see that sometimes. You know, the one side looks great and the other side's like, eh.
Sometimes fences make good neighbors.
Yeah. Yep. Very cool. So this is Jess. What do you do here, Jess?
I pretty much oversee the production of the vinyl shop for vinyl fencing. We cut down to length profiles we get in, route them out, notch them depending on the style of the fence, use the router, the fork truck, load, unload material.
You guys have any idea how many linear feet of fence you install in a year? That's probably a tough question.
That's a tough question.
Miles and miles of it.
Miles, I would say.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
How long have you been here, Jeff?
I started at Penn Fencing in 2004.
2004.
Yes.
Very cool. These are panels here that are pretty much ready to go?
These are gates.
Gates. Okay, yeah.
So if it doesn't require a custom fit, we can make them ahead of time
Yeah.
and send them to the job site like this. The installers put the hinges, latch where necessary, and
How many crews do you have installing? 2.
Yeah, no, not 2. Sometimes in the morning I wish it was only 2. Depends on the time of the year and what we have going on, but I'd say anywhere from 8 to 12. Sometimes
No kidding.
more.
Out of this
Depending how we,
yeah, I would say we have 8 to 12 out of this location, another couple locations where we have 1 or 2 running out of. So
Right.
That's fence crews. We also decking and railing. We have a couple other guys doing that for us. Gate operators. We have guys doing that. So a lot going on.
So what are these round holes?
well, these are for the cement to flow into the post to anchor the post into the ground for whenever you have rise and fall in the wintertime. It helps to hold it secure and it won't be able to just be lifted out.
Okay. Yeah. We didn't have to worry too much about frost line this winter, did we? But some winters we do.
Big time, yes.
mildest winter
So,
I can ever remember.
not to say that it won't happen, but it minimizes.
Right.
So
Yeah. And these are 8 foot? Is that what these are?
no, this is for 6-foot high fence, so they're 9-foot posts.
Okay.
We have a vast quantity of posts, different lengths, different profile sizes, 4x4s, 5x5s that we use for different height of fence. Generally, your shorter fence has 4-inch posts, your taller fence has 5-inch posts.
Okay.
Okay?
So there are different kind of vinyl out there, right?
Yes.
What is different? Like what makes yours different than if you just go buy it like at a big box store or something?
Well, these are capable of being graded. We have the ability to get longer sections of the tongue and groove in here, so we can use a saw to cut it on the angle needed to install on the ground so it follows the grade. It takes a little bit of math, but it's capable of being figured out, and it's a custom fit fence.
Okay, that's the big thing right there.
Yes.
And that goes back to all the slopes and grades and up and down hills and everything is why you need something like that. So starting at that end, how do we explain this process to me here?
Okay, so these are what are known as Decarail. This is what we use in our Liberty fences. They come in different lengths. We notch the ends and then put an aluminum stiffener in the bottom rail to help the rigidity for our longer panels.
Okay.
So you might want to step over there.
The actual notch that we put in the panel that allows it to go, she's going to do now, it allows it to go into the post, securing it into the post without a screw or a bracket that potentially is going to fail. So that's
Okay.
one of the biggest things I feel like that separates our vinyl fabrication process from what you're going to get at a lot of places. A lot of places you're going to put your post in, screw a bracket to the post. The post may be hollow or it may have something in there. If you're going to have a failure, a lot of times it's where that bracket's at that's going to crack or break. This notch, generally speaking, does not fail.
Okay.
And that's also one of the things that allows us to follow the grade of the ground,
Okay.
because the brackets sit level and then you don't have...
If you have your rail on a bias or an angle and you have your level bracket, it doesn't work out very well. So by having the hole routed into the post, the rail actually goes into the post, the notch pops out, the tab that we're going to put on there pops out, so you can't pull the rail back out of the
I
post
gotcha.
once it's inserted.
So you're going to notch this one now.
Yes. This notcher notches top and bottom at the same time, and that's it.
I see.
So, for our Liberty fences, it's the same top rail as bottom rail. Just the aluminum stiffener goes in bottom rails.
Okay, then what?
Okay, so I can put a stiffener in one. I'm sorry, Matt.
I'm in your way.
Well,
People are always probably in your way.
so we put this in here, then we'll flange it out with pliers so it catches and holds in the rail. And that's just the difference between the bottom rail and the top rail is just the support beam.
I
Yeah.
gotcha.
So where I'm at on this job is I need some line posts. So I'm going to flip these over. I'm going to flip them over to just get the other side done. And you got to be safe. The nice thing about this machine is if you close the clamps, it'll continue to run. If you leave the clamp open, it'll stop. So if no one's here to shut, say I had to answer a phone call or something, say I'm not here, safety measures say it'll stop because I didn't close the clamp.
Gotcha. Very cool. That's pretty slick. So how do you get it to put the holes where you want them and how to cut the holes?
Okay. So we have varying styles of fence. Depending on what style of fence tells us which program to use. This particular program is for a 6-foot high panel privacy or Liberty fence. It's privacy. So I would change my program if I wanted a post for either a 4-foot high. It has the measurements already pre-set, so I don't have to change it unless it's a custom job. And we can change from a post program to a picket program so we can route holes for a different style of fence. If somebody requests an inch spacing, all we have to do is change the cutout spacing. Not what I wanted. Luckily, the computer does most of the math for us.
Gotcha. That's some machine.
Yeah. And we do our best to recycle what we can.
All right, so what do you got there?
This is a gate upright. The style of gates we make have an internal block, so the outside of the post doesn't show screws or rivets like they used to. So we have a composite block that goes into the post. We'll insert the rail in and fix it with screws. That's me. That's how I am. So the screw will come down in and hold the rail inside the post so it doesn't pull out.
And this is like your assembly table here for the...
Yes.
Okay.
Whether it's making the gates or the panels that we make in the shop, this is the big lunch table
Right.
to make it on. So...
So that's how you put a gate together.
It's nice for these if something happens and you have to adjust the width of it with the screws instead of rivets on the outside. You can pull it apart,
Right.
cut it down. If you want to change the location of your gate, it can be moved, resized.
Well, thanks for the information there and demonstration. That's I learned a lot. I did. I had no idea how these went together, and like I said, everything is heavier duty than what I thought, and more rigid, and I don't know. It's a strong gate.
It stands up to a lot, and it speaks to the quality of the material as well as what we do here to put it together. But it would hold together better with this kind of fastener system than a bracket that could fail, as we were saying, with wind and everything else.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Jess. I appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you very much.
How do you like the Takuchi skid loader? People seem to like them.
It's old reliable. It's a good machine.
Is it?
Retired to the lot machine most of the time.
Yeah.
A couple of Kubotas now.
What do you drill holes with for fences?
Depends on the application. We have the Vermeer mini skid, use a lot of times. For some of the residential jobs, we have the Little Beaver, just a mobile one-man auger unit. On a commercial job, we use a Dandy Digger, which we can show you that over there, or one of the bigger skid steers.
What size Kubota's that? Is that 75?
They're 65.
65.
Yep. Just try to keep the weight down. For what we're doing, we don't need a whole lot of lift capacity.
Right. Now, what do you do with the? You make your own concrete for?
On a bigger commercial job where we're mixing with one of the mixers on the machine, yeah. So we have the sand and the gravel, and then we have the bags from Portland, and they mix it right into the mixer. On a real big job, we will get a concrete truck in.
Right. Well, I appreciate the tour here today. I actually learned a lot. I had no idea like how much actually goes into this. The other thing I learned, like I said, the vinyl is much heavier duty than what I thought it would be. You know, I like wood. I was talking about that earlier, but the amount of maintenance required for a wood privacy fence compared to this stuff, and this looks better. I think we're happy with our choice. I can't wait till you guys get over there. I've got a little bit more work to do before you come, but I'll be ready here in the near future. But I appreciate it, and thanks for taking the time today and showing us around. And I'll put a link to your guys' website in the description. Anything you guys would like to add, maybe for a homeowner or something that's in the area, or even someone that's out of the area, anything you could tell them about fence that people don't know about?
We're 45 years of experience, and we have people to answer the phones, and we're trying to help anybody that has a question out. So we get calls from all around the country now based on our website. So don't hesitate to reach out if you have a question.
Right. Did you have many calls there so far from all that wind over the weekend? Well, that was out of the ordinary. That was some serious wind.
We have not yet, and hopefully we don't get that many.
Yeah.
So want to thank you, Mike, for your time today and coming out also and taking the time to look at what we do and the opportunity to work with you. So thank you for that.
Oh, you're very welcome. I love stuff like this. Small businesses and people just putting into work every day. Been in business a long time. It's good stuff. But I appreciate it, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.